Got some more artwork to show you guys. Also, I want to let you guys know that I have a podcast I've been doing at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays and Thursdays. So if you want to talk to me, join my Discord and join the voice chat tonight. So I've been watching Mormon videos a lot lately, and I found this subject I haven't covered yet. I had to talk about it with you guys. Let's get into it. First, I'm going to give you guys a little background on Mormonism and what a mission is. I wasn't Mormon myself, so I'm not speaking from experience, but I do know a good bit about the subject, having spoken to plenty of Mormons about it. So as far as I can tell, Mormon males are all expected to go on a mission trip after high school. I worked with somebody who decided to go to college after high school instead of going on his mission trip, and he was definitely treated differently by the church after that, to the point where he didn't really want to go to church anymore because they were all staring at him. Nobody wanted their kids around him, in case the bad influence rubbed off. So what is a mission? A mission is basically where Mormons are expected to go to another part of the world, sometimes a foreign country, although many get placed inside their country of origin, and they go knocking on doors for 2 years. For males anyways. For females, it's 18 months. Females aren't required to go on missions, it's optional. But males, on the other hand, are guilted into it. Heavily. Anyways, the families of the missionaries have to pay their way, and right now it costs $9,600 for males and $7,200 for females. They send them to their mission area, not to do relief work, not to help villages build their technology or infrastructure, but to spread propaganda to them. So, not super helpful. Sometimes, the area that they're sent to requires a certain amount of humanitarian aid to allow them to proselytize. So if they want to preach to the people, they have to help them build buildings or something. And in that case, they'll work it into the schedule. They don't get humanitarian points for that. It's similar to Jehovah's Witnesses. They like to pretend they help people all over the world, and they do, but only if they're other Jehovah's Witnesses. They won't help anybody else with anything unless they join their church. So what happens is these kids submit an application to the church to determine if they're worthy or not. Apparently they have standards of worthiness. They have to go to church regularly, they have to pray all the time, read their holy books, they have to be sexually pure, which means they have to be virgins since it's right out of high school and they're expected to be single to go in the first place. And they have to follow the nutrition and health rules like no caffeine or hot drinks except certain types of tea, and that kind of thing. Also, they have to be caught up on their tithings, which I assume applies to the family more than the kids specifically. So 10% of their family's earnings every single month. If they're behind, then they have to pay that up. Anyways, they submit their application and the church decides if they're worthy or not. When they get accepted, they receive a letter in the mail called a call to serve from the president of the church. Apparently, the letter also tells them what language they'll need to know when they're going on the mission. Usually before the mission actually starts, males are ordained as elders in the Melchizedek priesthood if they haven't been ordained as elders already. When they get to their mission area, they're expected to adhere to the very specific dress code. Apparently, the LDS Church has opened up their dress policy a lot lately, but it used to be dark dress pants, white dress shirts, conservative ties, although the color of the tie is optional as long as it isn't obnoxious, and a suit coat. Women were expected to dress in a professional, modest dress or blouse, with skirts no shorter than mid-calf length. As I said though, they opened it up a lot. Now men aren't required to wear dark suits, and they don't have to wear full suits when they're going door to door anymore. They can just wear the shirts with ties. I imagine that's because of the intensity of the work. You'd be surprised how much it takes out of you to go door to door like that sometimes. Not only that, but these guys are in foreign countries sometimes. That has to be hard. So when they start the mission, they're assigned a mission companion who's with them 24/7. They aren't allowed to part ways for anything short of using the bathroom and to sleep in separate beds. And usually they don't know each other until they get to the mission area. Also, they're always the same gender. But I find it interesting that they get these single kids, commonly right out of high school, complete virgins, and they put them in a room alone with another kid of the same gender for 2 years. After all the hormones raging through their bodies through their teen years. They have to expect some shit to go down sometimes. I mean, it's like when an anti-abortion activist is also anti-contraception. Fine, you want to lower abortion rates. Great, I do too. But the best way to do that is to prevent pregnancy in the first place. But no, they want to have their cake and eat it too. You want these kids to stay virgins, but you also want them to make it through their teen years and then live and sleep with another person alone in a room with them for 2 years. It's asking a little much. Seriously. I say go nuts, do what you want. As long as it's two consenting adults, why does anybody else care? Anyways, missionaries aren't allowed to talk to their families more than once a week, and the communication is in the form of a letter, commonly emails. And they only use the church's internal email servers, which means the church can read anything they say to their family. As a side note, the mission president presides over the entire mission area and handles anything that needs tended to. Makes sure missionaries arrive safely, handles room and board, food, all that good stuff. Okay, back to what I was saying. Usually they're allowed to talk on the phone to their family on Christmas Day and one other day of the year, which apparently is usually Mother's Day. It's like an isolation camp. Separate you from your friends and family and make you feel completely reliant on the church. They're told to avoid all forms of worldly entertainment, which means no TV, no radio, and no internet. Music is strictly regulated. No music with romantic overtones or music that quote-unquote merely entertains, whatever that means. I assume that means they're only allowed to listen to music produced by the church or something. I'm telling you, it's just a 2-year brainwashing camp, which explains why they get so pissed off when people decide not to go. Send them to a foreign country and disconnect them from friends and family, making them completely reliant on the church when their minds are young and vulnerable. Then cram as much bullshit in over a 2-year period as you can. Seriously, I didn't realize how targeted this was until I started researching it. Check out their schedule. Wake up at 6:30 a.m. Pray, exercise, and eat breakfast for 30 minutes. Spend 2 hours studying their holy books and other stuff the church puts out. If they're trying to learn another language, they spend another 30 minutes or so trying to learn that language. Leave their room at 10 a.m. to go knock on doors or whatever if they aren't learning another language, or 10:30 if they took the extra 30 minutes to practice their new language. An hour for lunch and dinner, then they go back to their room at 9 or 9:30, depending on whether or not they're teaching a lesson at the end of the day. Then they plan out the next day, pray, and write in a journal, and they go to bed at 10:30. Then get up and do it all over again. That's the public schedule that the LDS Church expects all missionaries to adhere to, depending on where they're serving. They have everything planned down to the minute practically. It's so interesting to see how much they control people's lives, and how parents allow them to control their kids' lives and minds. Let's take a look at the Mormon Church pushing kids to serve on missions.
I repeat what prophets have long taught, that every worthy, able young man should prepare to serve a mission.
You help so many people feel the love of Christ. You help them find something more in life.
I think everybody deserves to know why they are here on this earth.
He actually used me to help other people as well. And that's what makes a mission something special, really.
It was joy. And you felt good helping others.
Maintain your health and strength. Study the scriptures. Keep yourselves clean and pure and worthy to represent the Lord.
Notice what they're doing in this video. They're blacksmithing. They're banging metal into a specific shape. They aren't even being subtle about their metaphors. They're turning people into what they want them to be. Seriously, who wants this? Who would endorse this? Who would make their kids go through this? It's insane. Let's hear another clip.
I knew that if I was going to serve on a mission, I really needed to be as worthy as possible.
I am looking for men young and old who care enough about this battle between good and evil to sign on and speak up. If required, I am asking you to get active and get clean.
The time before my mission, I was a normal person in the world. I didn't really look forward to serve a mission.
What prevented me from serving a mission were material things, the things of the world, the things that don't have much worth.
I changed my life. I changed my habits, my thoughts, my feelings.
We have been friends ever since I arrived here in Holland.
We did a lot of fun things together.
Notice what he said in the beginning. I'm looking for men young and old who care enough about this battle to sign on and speak up. They love to make it out like it's a war, like they're fighting against something. This whole video of theirs is using what's called undue influence. This is what really separates a cult from a religion. Here's the definition. Influence by which a person is induced to act otherwise than by their own free will or without adequate attention to the consequences. That's what they're trying to do by sending people on missions. They're trying to get people to go to these brainwashing camps and mold them into something more beneficial to the church. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. you. I know this video is late. I'm sorry about that. I try not to let that happen at any cost. I've just been so busy this past week, things started to pile up. Also, check me out on social media and check out my Discord and my science channel. All links are in the description. Thanks for watching, guys.